Hello and welcome once again to Anatomy and Physiology at Glen Community College. I'm Dr. Hartung. For this video I would like to go over a real human spine. This spine is articulated, which means that there are strings inside of it to hold all of the bones together. So let's go through the different major regions of the spine as best we can. Up here we have 7 vertebrae, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the cervical vertebrae, the vertebrae of the neck. And again, as I mentioned in another video, the way you recognize that these are cervical vertebrae is the transverse foramen that you see. That's the major identifier. Another identifier that I can point out, because this is a real skeleton, is that some of them have spinous processes that are bifurcated, which means that at the end, as you can see, I'm trying to bring it in well for the camera, there are 2 little points coming off of the spinous process. So it's bifurcated. That's cervical vertebrae. Oh, and this again is the atlas, cervical vertebrae number 1. And you can see it looks very different than the other vertebrae, and so does this one. This is cervical vertebrae number 2, also known as the axis. And the other thing about the axis is that it has this pointed part of it coming up called the dens. This is the dens. There's another word for dens, and it's the odontoid process. So this is the dens, or the odontoid process. Going down to the thoracic vertebrae, and again, recognizing thoracic vertebrae by themselves, as you see when I put one of these nose onto you, it kind of looks like a giraffe. Hard to get the proper angle. Another way to identify thoracic vertebrae on a real skeleton is that you will see these articulations on the transverse process. Those articulations are joints between this vertebrae and ribs. And you'll see them on both of the transverse processes. Another thing you'll also notice is you can see half of an articulation here. If I bring up the other thoracic spine next to it, you can see an area where the end of the rib actually rests. So there's another place for articulation with ribs. So that again is thoracic vertebrae. Down here at the bottom, and if I hold it up, you can see the junction between the thoracic and the lumbar. Notice that here I have an articulation that's going to go along with a rib, and here it looks like I might have an articulation that might go along with a rib, but here I certainly do not. So this is for sure lumbar vertebrae. And of course it's larger than the cervical or thoracic vertebrae. And again, if I take one of them and point it head on towards you, it does not look like a giraffe. It looks more like a moose or a cow maybe. So that's lumbar vertebrae. Let's see how many lumbar vertebrae this person had. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 for sure. You'll either have 4 or 5 lumbar vertebrae depending on whether the last one became part of the sacrum or not. And this is the sacrum. There's the back of it, and there's the front of it. And the sacrum in this person is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertebrae that all fused together to make one large bone. At the bottom, we have the coccyx. And this person has 1, 2, 3, 4 coxal bones making up their coccyx, and the last 2 are fused together. So that's coccyx. So that overall is an articulated human spine. As always, if you have any questions, please email or call me. And thank you again for watching.